Right, here we go. We're going to continue now with our shaded still life picture. We started, if you remember, in the last session, having it sketched out and then working on the shading of the kettle. Now there's a couple of things I want to talk about today. One is the shading of the milk bottle, and two, the lettering on the Weetabix box. First of all, the milk bottle. I did see a student's work when I was going round, and they'd done some shading, and they'd done the milk bottle like that. So literally got the pencil, shaded it all the way down like that, a little bit rough in places, all like that. What's wrong with that? Well, for starters, if you're looking at the milk bottle here, you can certainly see how it is lighter at the bottom where the milk is, and then it goes darker at the top. So this person here would first of all have to work with a rubber to rub out all of this. Waste of time. Don't do it in the first place. Learn how to control your pencil. Learn how to control the pressure and only press on where needed. Okay, and that really is quite an important skill to learn. It's a massive misconception that you shade and then rub away. Okay, in the first place, learn not to press on. So as an example, where it is white there. So we're hardly going to put any pressure at all on there. You probably can't even see, as I'm shading that there, you probably can't even see what I'm putting on there. The only bit where it's really, really light white is a little section around there, and that's where you wouldn't shade at all. Notice how I'm holding my pencil. I've got it at the end there, and I'm working with the edge of the pencil just to work in with that shadow. Okay, now as the bottle comes up here, we do go a bit darker. And just by putting an extra little bit of pressure on your pencil, you can get that darkness on there. Take it right the way up to the edge of the bottle, then it comes lighter. Take the pressure off, and then you can smooth in between. Quite a few people are using the smudges to blend it together. Perfectly acceptable if that's what you like to do. Personally, I try to do it where I'm just controlling the pressure that I'm putting on that pencil, and do it without using any other device. Some people use the fingers, smudge it with that. You get a messy finger, but you can do it like that if you want to. Notice at the bottom here, it does go dark around there. And again, I repeat, what is it that we're doing? We're doing an observation drawing. Right, so you're trying to copy what you are observing, to observe, to look at. Okay, so you're not making things up. As we go along here, it does go a little bit darker. So we can work down there. And yes, it looks a bit rough to start with. That's once you then start working into it, give it a bit of finesse, make it smoother. I can see a bit of a dent in the bottle coming round there, so you just put that in like that. Then it gets darker still coming round here. Working into it. And then there is quite a dark line. Not super dark, not as dark as the kettle. But there is quite a dark line that sort of comes down there. Down to the bottom there, sort of goes into that, and it leaves a slightly lighter line behind it there. And you can highlight that lighter line by doing the shadow that's on the wall. Just shading up to that line makes that stand out. And again, look, I've just put an extra bit of pressure on my pencil. It's really it's my thumb and my finger that are pressing down on that pencil a bit more, and you can get the darker shadow on. You've got shadow there, but it's not as dark. just working into that down there. And then you'd carry on going up here. Obviously here, as you can see, it is darker because that's where the milk in the bottle has finished. Not as dark as the dark bits on the kettle, but it certainly is darker there. And you just work into that a bit more. I'll continue with that later on. Just regarding the lettering, what I do want you to notice, in the black and white photograph, there's no great distinction between the light and the dark of the lettering. Little tip, if you just turn that over, you can see a much clearer distinction there. So you're going to know that when you do put your shading on there, make sure that the shading is darker going around the letters. If you want to put a slight tone on the letter, you can do to tone that down, but make sure that you shade around it, and that will make the letter stand out a lot more. So going around there like that, that's going to be a much better letter. And I do hope you notice here, underneath there's some tiny writing, 48 biscuits, 24 biscuits free. You're never going to get that on there, so ignore it. Leave it out. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter one little bit. Okay. I'll do a bit more of a speeded up version after this, and then it's time to crack on with your picture. There we go.